Welcome back to the world of street food. Today we are in Phnom Penh, the capital of the Kingdom of Cambodia. While dishes from neighboring Southeast Asian countries like Thailand and Vietnam are world famous, I realized on my recent trip to Phnom Penh that I knew next to nothing about Cambodian food. I decided to try to change this by signing up for an evening food tour, and it was one of the best travel experiences I've ever had. Lost Plate Food Tours run food tours out of China, Thailand, Cambodia, and Portland, Oregon. The guides are knowledgeable, friendly, and fun, and I got to be introduced to so many amazing dishes that I never would have been able to find on my own. For full transparency, I would like to emphasize that this is not sponsored content. I booked and paid for the tour in full, and I'm not getting any kind of compensation for this review. My review is genuine, and my experience was genuinely fantastic. It began around 5 p.m. when a remorque, a uniquely Cambodian carriage-like auto rickshaw drawn by a motorbike, pulled up in front of my hotel, and I was greeted by my guide, who handed me an ice-cold can of Cambodia beer as we sped our way across the city. Talk about 5-star service. It was time to start eating. We arrived for our first dish of the evening at Soat, an old-school noodle restaurant located near Wat Batum Park and the Independence Monument. Now, what could be more of an iconic dish to start the evening out with than a bowl of Nom Bun Chak, a Cambodian noodle dish that's eaten all throughout the day? Nom Bun Chak is a staple of Cambodian cuisine. The dish is made from a bowl of lightly fermented rice noodles served in a rich and herbal fish curry sauce. The Nom Bun Chak that I had was made from snakehead fish, which was caught locally in the Mekong River. The noodles are served warm and topped with a warm and spiced fish curry made from coconut milk, kaffir lime, finger root, turmeric, and other delicious spices, and finished off with the herbs of your choice. I enjoyed mine with a glass of fresh sugarcane juice, but this was just the first dinner of the evening. We got back in the remorque, I cracked another beer, and we drove on to our second stop. We ordered several dishes to share alongside a big plate of white rice and took a seat outside near the street. It was a warm and pleasant evening, and we talked and watched the bustle of Cambodia's capital city at rush hour while we waited for our dinner to arrive. It didn't take long, and soon our table was laden with several appetizing dishes. The first that we tried was cha trop, or grilled eggplant with minced pork. It was sort of smoky and savory and meaty, everything that I like in a meal. Next was prahok with minced pork and pea eggplant. Prahok is a type of fermented fish paste, which is used as a base, a seasoning, and a condiment for lots of different Cambodian dishes. This dish was one of my favorites that I tried during my visit to Cambodia. And finally, we enjoyed a rich, hearty, sweet and savory pork belly stew, which came with a boiled egg. Now, at this point, I was already starting to feel full, but our evening had only just begun. Next, we headed to 11-1 Kitchen, a famous and trendy indoor-outdoor sort of restaurant focused on sustainability and clean eating. We were here to try one of Cambodia's most iconic dishes, in fact, the country's national dish, fish amok. It's said that this recipe originated within the ancient palaces of the Khmer Empire and was a royal dish reserved only for kings. Bites of local Mekong River snakehead fish are marinated with a yellow curry and mixed with coconut milk. The marinated fish curry is then steamed inside of a banana leaf container, which results in a creamy, almost custard-like texture. After finishing the fish amok, we tried another great Cambodian dish, banana flour and beef salad. In the United States, where I grew up, we tend only to eat the fruit of the banana, but the banana plant as a whole, the flower, the stem, even the peel are actually edible and are used in lots of different dishes around the world. In this dish, stir-fried ground beef was mixed with aromatics like shallot, garlic, chili, basil, crushed peanuts, and of course, paper-thin slices of delicate young banana blossoms. It was fully dark by the time we stopped at the next destination. We had come to a local barbecue spot where people hung out after work, drinking beer and enjoying delicious grilled meat.
First, they grill it in that clay jar, and then they warm it up here.
Okay, so it's grilled first, and then it's heated here over the coals. It was time for a late-night snack of barbecued frog. As cliche as it sounds, frog genuinely does taste like chicken. The muscly legs are the meatiest part of the frog, and they're the best bits to snack on. But if you're not feeling quite bold enough for frog, you can also order great grilled pork here. And since frog has very little meat on it, you probably want to order some pork anyway. After the delicious barbecued frog dinner, it was time for something sweet. The remorque pulled up outside of a small street stall laden with dozens of different Cambodian dishes, and I got to choose whichever one I wanted to try.
And this is served a long time ago.
If that's what you recommend, that's what I will try. Yeah. I will take your recommendation on that one for sure. Not knowing exactly what I should get, I asked the guide for his recommendation, and he said I should try the jackfruit and sticky rice. I'm not one to pass up a good recommendation, so that's what I got. Okay.
I try.
Try it too, yes.
See the difference?
Yeah, it gives it sort of a little salty, smoother.
Because the coconut milk, it's mixed with salt. So the salt, in each dessert they will have salt.
Right. As the evening drew to a close, it was time to toast to the fun culinary adventure that we had had with a late-night cocktail. We went to Compi Coffee, a coffee shop by day and cocktail bar by night. We toasted to new friends and a night of adventure with a delicious cocktail made from local Cambodian herbs, which had a brilliant and fresh flavor. The tour took about 4 hours, and by the time we had reached the end, I was completely stuffed. It ended up being the highlight of my trip to Cambodia, and I left not only with a full stomach, but with a new respect and understanding for Cambodian cuisine. I was feeling pretty jazzed about Cambodian food, and I still had a few days in the city, so I decided to venture out on my own and try some other amazing local dishes. First up was lot cha, or Cambodian fried noodles with egg and fried pate. Lot cha are a type of thick and chewy rice noodle, sometimes called pin noodles in English, which are stir-fried with a ton of aromatic ingredients and topped with a fried egg. I ordered mine with a big piece of grilled pate and a fried egg. Lot cha noodles, which are made from wheat flour and have a really nice chewy texture, are super filling. And they're stir-fried with chives, bean sprouts, chilies, garlic, fish sauce, soy sauce, palm sugar, and more. I also ordered some nom koche, or fried Cambodian chive cakes. Now these are probably meant to be shared. 4 was a little bit too much for me, but the crispy on the outside, tender on the inside chive cakes were bursting with flavor. Next, a dish that I was particularly excited about, ong krok se ku, or stir-fried red tree ants with beef. As insects go, I find ants to be one of the less intimidating to try to eat. The red tree ants gave each bite a hardly noticeable crunch and an aftertaste that was mildly sour, almost tangy, that reminded me something of a very mild Szechuan peppercorn or mala flavor, or even something almost like lemon. It was a really strange flavor that was brand new for me. I'd never tried ants before, the flavor surprised me, but what also surprised me was that I was not put off by the sight of insects in my food, and I actually kind of enjoyed it. This was followed by a dessert of caramelized toddy palm with vanilla ice cream, which had a really mild sweetness, emphasized by that delicious cold ice cream. While staying in Phnom Penh, I also made the pilgrimage to have dinner at David's Noodles, to see if it was really worth the hype. Let me tell you, making every noodle by hand really makes the difference. But David doesn't just serve noodle soup, he also serves pan-fried pork dumplings, which came with a garlic soy sauce to dip them in and arrived sizzling hot right out of the pan. I came back to David's a second time to try his Khmer yellow curry with duck, which was also really good. Unfortunately, it didn't have any of the noodles, and if you're really only going to have one dish there, you gotta have something with noodles. But the curry was excellent as well. And finally, on my last morning in the country, I had borbo samchok, or Cambodian rice porridge, at Molly's restaurant, which is considered to be one of the best restaurants in the city. My time in Cambodia was coming to an end, but I hope to go back again very soon and try more of the great dishes that the Kingdom of Wonder has to offer. Visit theworldofstreetfood.com for more information, as well as full write-ups about all of these dishes and more. And until next time, keep exploring the world, one meal at a time.